I'm on my way to a high school in San Francisco that's piloting a way to use mobile phones to help lower our environmental footprint. If it works, it could change the way we think about travel. In this city, there are plenty of transport options to help you get around, but all of these have some kind of impact on the environment.
Hi! How are you? Pleasure to meet you, Francis.
This is Martin Gutierrez, co-founder of the Go Green Foundation, a local environmental group that's encouraging young people to take responsibility for their own carbon footprint. And tell me a bit about the project then. What exactly is it?
Well, it's about getting young kids, primarily 13 to 22, involved in initiatives that they can implement every single day to effect positive change in the environment. Hey,
wow.
Go Green team!
Martin's two children, Catalina and Trevor, along with some of their classmates, are trialling a new software program called PEIR. It allows anyone with a GPS facility on their mobile phone to measure their own carbon footprint. Each student has a Nokia phone that transmits regular GPS coordinates to their own personal PEIR web page. PEIR then calculates if the student's travelling by car, bicycle or on foot, and then gives them a carbon kilogram score for their journey.
On this dashboard you can see the different carbon impact for each trip I've taken.
And has it really changed the way that you guys are thinking about your day-to-day activity?
Yeah, definitely. In the morning, instead of getting a ride with my dad, I may take a bus or ride the bike.
One of the things that we experimented is to implement a social media component, a widget that allows them to share that with their friends.
You can check their Facebook profile page.
Okay.
And then, this is my sister's. This week she emitted 1.89 pounds of CO2.
Wow, that's
She's
a lot.
traveling a lot.
Been getting up pretty late this week, so I've been depending on my dad to get me to school on time.
School's out, and both Catalina and Trevor are choosing carbon-light transport to get them home.
So I have my phone, and you can see it says it's ready, and the latitude and longitude of where we are right now.
Right now, okay, great. Catalina and her brother were instrumental in the creation of the Go Green Foundation and pioneered the use of mobile phones as a way of getting young people engaged with the environment. It all started as a simple idea from Mum and Dad, but soon grew to include hundreds of teenagers at schools right across San Francisco.
Trevor and I were all for it, and we wanted it to be focused on our age group. And I started calling out my friends, hey, do you want to get involved? Some of my friends, they came up to me and like, why didn't you ask me to be part of it? And
Your kids have sold it to me. Can I please join straight away?
Yeah, here's the Nokia 95 device.
okay.
And this is ready to go, so you are now part of the network.
This whole idea of using mobile phones as sensing devices to gather information really does make the mind boggle. I'm heading across town to get to the heart of the matter with one of Nokia's top research boffins.
Hi, I'm Constance. How are you?
This is John Chen, director of Nokia's research center in California and one of the key supporters of the PEIR pilot project.
As you provide these sensing tools, it allows people to know the impact that they're making, and also collectively we can share that information in terms of, as a community, how well the community is doing. I have 3 teenage daughters. Sometimes in the morning when they go to school, they will even forget their contact lenses, but they never go to school without their cell phone. They get exposed to these environmental issues all the time, but it's not the foremost on their mind in terms of what can I do about it. And so this is a way to make it very tangible to them and something they can act on. It blends in very well with the youth culture.
I'm on my way to Los Angeles. I've got my Nokia phone with me and PEIR is up and running. I could have flown, but I've got plenty of time. So I've decided to take the train to try and reduce my carbon footprint. And when we arrive, I'm hoping this is going to tell me exactly how I've done.
Helping me lower my environmental footprint is actually only one of the things that PEIR can do with the information collected by my phone. In pollution-heavy Los Angeles, the UCLA research team that developed PEIR are now concentrating less on how we affect the environment and more on how the environment affects us.
Jeff Burke.
Hi, Francis.
This is Jeff Burke from the Sense Laboratory, a UCLA think tank responsible for the development of PEIR.
It's something that is on the mind of people in Los Angeles. You know, overall, what's the pollution related to transportation near where you are? We're just trying to pick things that are really on the public's mind and give them a new tool to interact with those things at a very personal level, and then potentially to share that with their friends the way that you've seen with Go Green. Hi Nithya, this is Francis.
Hi Nithya, how are you?
Hi.
Nithya Ramatham is a UCLA researcher and a new mother. For the past month, she's been using her mobile phone to measure her daughter's exposure to pollution.
I've been carrying the phone with me, trying to do it everywhere I go, mostly to work and back and to daycare, and looking at the numbers to see what kind of exposure.
PEIR takes the GPS coordinates from Nithya's phone and combines it with LA traffic information. The closer she and her phone get to heavy traffic, the bigger her pollution exposure score becomes on her PEIR webpage.
I think increasingly after using PEIR, actually, I will mostly be thinking about staying away from freeways. So before I thought either I was on the freeway or I was off the freeway, and increasingly I'm thinking a little bit more about, well, how far away am I from the freeway? I think just the act of being engaged in something like measuring the impact and having a quantifiable number come back to me has had a definite impact on how I think about the environment and think about my decisions.
I'm ending my journey at the birthplace of PEIR, the Sense Research Laboratory on the UCLA campus. I'm hoping Jeff Burke can show me how PEIR's measured my trip from San Francisco to LA.
There's your journey, so if we zoom out, we can actually see you coming
The whole
all
journey.
the way.
And it's logged, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And so you can see above, here's your carbon impact. Now you had a very long trip, and so you have a relatively high carbon impact relative to other people.
So in one day I've racked up 3 days worth at least.
That's right.
After investigating the PEIR project over the last few days, the thing that's really struck me is the way mobile phones can be used as data gatherers, and how the data itself really makes you want to change your behavior. If you can imagine 1 million users using their phones to gather data and changing in some small way some aspect of their day-to-day behavior, it could have a real effect on the environment and on the world as a whole.